Okay. Greetings,
Greetings.
and I'd like to call the meeting to order and start off by the approval of the minutes for last meeting. Roll call. Huh? Oh, yes, roll call.
Bruce Button.
Yeah, Mary. Okay, and then approval of the minutes.
I move approval of the minutes of July 23rd.
Are there any changes, Dave?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote unanimous.
What happens to this cost? Is the cost for each two?
That's Elizabeth.
Oh, this is cost.
I caught that. Yeah. So now we're at correspondence or updates. What happened since our last meeting? And Paul, you said you've got a little bit of information.
Just a little bit. First is a thank you to Terry Ackerman for asking HR to provide some information that we were a little hard to get in the beginning. The only thing I'm going to say about it is I'm still not crystal clear on whether the data I have, the data HR has, depends whether you include vacancies. It depends whether you can. There's a whole lot of criteria that are way above my pay grade with respect to analyzing something. I do think I'm going to put this in. I'll get off my soapbox in a second here. Is to just get into. These are good things for the new and improved and energized personnel board to look at. To what criteria do they want to look at? And the one thing that jumped out at me from the HR's data was, a huge jump 1 year to another. That to me, if I was running this business, I would say, what departments are affected by this?
Yeah.
What's the deeper dive into this? Do we have issues with this? Maybe we have no issues and everything is under door. But if we do, how does that break out? What a great thing for the personnel board to look at. The other thing I quickly did, just to sort of like, where does this fit in this whole scheme of things? This morning, I went through the current job openings for the town, which relates to this. I think this falls in. What I gained out of it is we have 19 plus full-time openings that are advertised. These are not vacancies. I don't know where vacancies stand and where they fit in the totality of the numbers that we're looking at, or someone else can be looking at. And I use plus because some of them are for a couple of people, or we're looking for, 2 lifeguards or 3 lifeguards, or we're looking for a few lifeguards. It's just general. The full-time is 19 plus and the part-time is 25 plus, based on that same dive. What I'm hoping, and I'll jump off my soapbox here, is that these monthly reports that the personnel board is supposed to be receiving from HR per the
We'll capture it.
the personnel by the bylaws, these are just regular things that are put in.
Right.
That 3 people left from X department, 2 left from this department. Why did they leave? I'm not suggesting they're looking for the exit interviews. Retired. Don't know. Something that explains it so that the personnel board has some context to look at. And I'm encouraged by, healthy discussion, whether I'm right or HR is right or what I know. And this will be my final comment on this is, we'll be gone in 5 weeks. We're hoping. Right, with any luck at all, we'll be gone in 5 weeks. Issues that have been raised or problems that may have surfaced during our tenure will still exist.
Yeah.
And that hopefully some of this healthy discussion could lead to some resolution or some fresh,
Some new actions.
some new actions, and that's it.
Well, and I will also say, I had remembered that Bill had said something about there's going to be some kind of a meeting in September around the comp and benefit stuff, that they're the study that they're doing. And he did let me know that he doesn't know that they haven't got a date yet. Because I was putting together the suggested format for inviting the employees to the forum and passing that by Carrie. And I was wondering whether or not we ought to include that as information on top of the August 29th meeting. But there isn't any date at this point, at least that we know about. So,
Yeah, no, I think that's, it's just picking, you learn something every time you go on the town's website.
Yeah.
In just doing my poking through this, I just see things that are, there's 2 positions open in rec where if they're part-time for a 4-school group leader is one of them, an early release site, whatever the other one was. But both of those advertise free tuition for their child.
Ooh, that's
Now-
a great benefit.
We'll see that, exactly that. I'm thinking to myself, oh,
what
that's
do they
cool.
need with that? Yeah.
Where does that fit into, I don't know, there's for discounts for town employees withdrawn from the BD Center or rec. I don't know if that's true or not. I hear that they have been, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll drop one last an ongoing discussion since I was the union rep for the police department. And this is a won't be settled here. Is we have the highest paid, some of the highest paid teachers in the state, which I'm happy for, because we also have an excellent education system in this town.
Right.
Teachers get a perk of having their kids can go to the Concord Public School System.
Right.
As spaces available.
Yes.
Yes. And when I saw this today, it brought back some memories of how we brought it. And there has been, I will tell you, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll let somebody, if they want to figure it out. There has been a town employee whose kids were allowed to go to the Concord school system. They weren't. And that's not 50 years ago. That's something we'll just leave at that.
Yeah.
But good style. I was giving you some compliments, by the way.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. So
thank you,
just so
whatever
you-
you said.
I'll go back and say, where were you were here from the beginning? And where? So anyway,
Fine.
that's it.
So I'd like to take some prerogative here around the next item on the agenda is the discussion of the draft final report. And it's kind of like, which is driving which. I don't know whether or not the roles and recommendations on matrix that you got in your packet is something that you have remembered seeing in the past. But that has been, if you will, subsumed into the report. But if there were things that you wanted to change, this would be the time to do it.
Can I start? Sure. I just think that most of this is sort of points that were made for the town meeting purposes of why to get rid of the personnel board. And I'm not, I'm not, and since it has been absorbed into the report, which
Right.
it has.
Right.
It's a conflicting document. It's not, it doesn't line up with our recommendations.
Well, the report does.
Yes, the report does.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
I just wanted you to know where some of that came from. And we don't have to discuss it, 'cause it's not even a part of the appendices.
Yeah.
In the report. So,
So point taken.
point well taken.
we will finish.
Good stuff, good input, good work.
Okay. So, Now we get down to the draft report, which is our information in narrative form done by someone who really understands how to do formal reports.
Mhm.
And I want to say thank you and hope we can identify anything that we want to modify or edit or whatever. At some point, I'd like to talk a little bit about what's being proposed to be in the appendix. Because that could be a book this thick. And whether or not some of it we could reference on the web. And that gets back to issues that we've had with things disappearing from the web. And that whether or not we can count on that being there, so that when somebody wants to refer to it, it'll be there. So, floor's open. Ruth,
I think it's terrific. I think this has, this is a masterful job. This uses the background, our thoughts,
Yep.
our documents, and pulls it together into something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yep.
And it, you know, it really,
And appendixes.
and a benefit. It reads well.
Yep.
It's not foreign. You know, there's nothing that we're going to say, what? Where'd they come from? Everything,
Mhm.
everything in it is ours. And I really think it's a strong document. And then after I say all that, I found nitpickers.
okay,
So,
give us a page.
oh, okay. In the executive summary,
Under classification and comp.
yeah, under class and comp, you say checklist could be developed, but it's not referenced as it is later in the document. I don't know if that's just missing or
Should be exhibit S.
should we?
We should put
It's in the appendices, right?
Right, but you should put in assure consistency sample exhibit S.
Okay, well, okay. Then can I move to methodology, page 9? I could just hang it and somebody takes it.
Nope.
This is. Yeah. This, in the second paragraph, and I've mentioned it before, but it seems to drive me crazier now than it did the first time I read it. On the second paragraph, we're talking about the need of the task force to respect the town's strong manager form of government. And my memory of why we were amending the charge had nothing to do with strong town manager. So I'm wondering if that's more polite language for something that I'm not seeing. It's true, we received an amendment from the select board in December. We all said we're going to implement this charge, whether it's in the current state or the amended state. You know, we believe in what we're doing. And I thought all was well. So that's just, maybe it's
So
not.
what are you suggesting? Are you suggesting we strike that?
Yeah, after initial difficulties defining,
So you want it more general?
the select board amended the charge. Unless there's some other language that you'd like to insert instead of strong town manager. Okay.
I put in competent. Sorry.
Okay. Page 10.
Just to clarify, so you're taking out the phrase and then we take that piece that we found.
After initial difficulties defining the scope of the work to be done, by the task force,
Comma.
Comma,
Comma.
the select board amendment.
Okay.
Okay. Um. Then I'm going to 10. No, I'm sorry. At the top of the page of 10, this is a paragraph about the information gathering and so forth. Both the town manager and chair of the select board were informed of the issues that we learned. Okay, and then we skip to the end, the additional concerns, which I think is a brilliant idea.
which are you there at the end now?
At the end of the sentence,
Okay,
in
and
the
just,
first paragraph,
yep,
confidential document will be provided to the town manager and the select board liaison. So in the first round, we sent it to the select chair and the town manager. Second round, we're saying select liaison and town manager. And I would think we would do parallel.
My only just response to that would be, it's the same person, even though it's a different, and there might be some helpfulness in that. I don't know, the same, the select chair, Terry Ackerman at the time was the person that things were brought to.
Yes,
And why not hand it to, she's also the liaison to our committee,
right.
and she could report on it to the select board.
absolutely fine point. I'm just looking at
I get it.
parallel language. That's all.
So how would you want it to read?
The option that I was considering starts with both the town manager and chair of the select board were informed. Okay, at the end, I would say provided to the town manager and select board chair.
Okay,
But I'm not tied to it, and I think Paul has a great point.
how about just chair and liaison?
Oh, send it to 2.
This would be a confidential document. Just remember, that's my understanding. Obviously, I wasn't present, but
Yeah.
my understanding is those conversations that you had, verbal conversations,
Well,
were confidential in nature.
we can only control one half of that. We don't know what happens once it's received, right?
Right.
And
And this is going to be in writing, which is, what the current chair has not been involved in any.
Yeah.
but
So then it should be town manager and a select board liaison.
which is what it is now.
Okay, let's leave it that way.
Okay,
Yeah,
this is good.
I'm more than comfortable with that.
You can put in that first sentence, both the town manager and chair of, and then chair of the select board, parentheses, now liaison, or something like that.
Little words.
Yeah, you can use the word to make it clear, but if you need to,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. On page 11, the very first sentence in upcoming, we say that the forum, which is about to be held, August 29, so that both employees and members, I think, of the public.
Yeah. Obviously, this is subject to change, may change.
Or, it could be community or whatever, just, I don't want them to think it's less than it is. And then skipping ahead to section 5, page 16. This is my claim to fame. When you like nitpickers, you like them. Under personnel bylaws background, this is the only background statement that isn't italicized. Now, that's not going to change
No, we
the
can't.
meaning of anything. And then I come back to terrific. I think it is a good, solid report of a lot of angst.
I agree.
Excellent.
Superb.
Superb is the right word. Extraordinary. I love that word.
Now,
That's,
what do you think about the appendices being what it is? You realize what if you had all the paper associated with all these documents, how big this was gonna be?
I've actually started assembling them and Ned, I had some assistance. Ned had some of the documents and I had some of the documents.
How big is it gonna be?
I think we're talking, if we include the actual, all the PPPs, and that's the one that's a little bit in flux, but if all those were included, I think we're approaching 75 pages.
Yep.
The reason I think my initial feeling was we should include them all is because they all had to rally up.
Yep.
And Ruth got some, some of them are on the website. Paul got some, and
You don't lose that.
and then some have been changed since, in the past couple of months. So, something that I found in April is different now.
Yeah.
But as we had difficulties, so do employees have difficulties. And so so we're thinking, well, it'd be nice to have them in this document. But if you wanted to cut back on the number of pages in the appendix, that would be my recommendation. We could put that chart that one of you had created, the chart with the names, the dates, when it was most recently amended, and then and not include the actual text, because there's appear to be someone's working on it, because several, 3 and 4 have been changed.
my opinion is, I think cutting it down would be great if we could, this would save some trees, but I really think that this should memorialize what we've done.
You spent some time.
We spent some
obviously,
time doing
looking
this,
at them.
and
Yeah.
not going to look, well, I wonder what they're talking about. It's in the report.
You've
It's-
included the bylaw, you've included, all the other documents that you're referencing.
Right.
And the question
Yeah.
is, do you want to?
I don't think this is gonna get printed out too many times. I think it's gonna be something it's digital. So that anybody can go to it at any point, and what were you talking about? Or,
And it's all
oh, yeah, I
right,
can
yeah.
see that PPP said it was amended then, and we see where they're going. It's a good roadmap for someone 2 years from now, 5 years from now, to look at it.
I couldn't agree more. I think we need all of these.
Okay.
This is what's been missing. This is a great job putting this together. I don't think it'll be printed out a lot, but to have it all in one place, all linked up,
Yeah.
it's gonna be really valuable. And it's also valuable in the appendices where you've got the dates, as amended,
Okay.
March
And
20,
what?
the dates.
Oh, the dates. got it.
And I would suggest that for all of them, like K and T, S, and all of them should have dates, because I know that, last meeting we were changing K.
Yep.
I know T is already changing now, so we should put dates on all of them. But I
Okay,
think this is absolutely essential
okay,
to have all of this.
okay.
So is there, just, to be fussy, is there a record any place of the changes that you found? Were they voted? Were they approved by the personnel board? Was it ever on anybody's agenda, or did it just happen?
I would have to, all I know is the dates on some of them. When I looked, the past couple of weeks are different from their more recent. I'd have to look at personnel board meeting minutes for the past couple of months to see if they've approved some more. I don't know. They have not always been involved in amending these or accepting these. And
That's as much a concern as just appeared at the same time others disappeared.
And I know on your chart, you had mentioned, I think we did the chart.
PPPs, yeah.
PPPs, you're missing numbers. Well, we don't know if those have been taken off, you know, they're no longer relevant. And
There's no
or-
paper trail for.
well, certainly no web trail, right? And there's no, looking through 11, 12 years worth of minutes, there's no trail on the personnel board meetings that they, well, we're gonna, no longer have them. I suspect the relevant ones are put on the website, maybe just ones that people don't use anymore, but then they rescind the numbers, someone knows, but it's not obvious to the public.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any other comments?
Do we need to go
Is that
through
your
this
list?
section by section once we,
Huh?
do we need to go through this report section by section?
Only if you
approve it?
want to.
Or how do we approve? I'm not trying to jump ahead, but what,
No,
Do we not have a motion to approve the draft personnel study task force report to be updated?
For the instructions you got.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that section 5, that the language of section 5, I mean, I got this all from your minutes and from your document, but I want to make sure you approve this. This is starting on page 15, so you just approve the language on that.
Okay.
What page are we talking about?
15, starting
Thank
at
you.
15. So I was happy with my reading of it. If the only thing that bothered me was the use of italics. There was no
Use of what?
italics.
Italics.
There was no content that I disagreed with. There was no content that was a surprise.
The English language has been changed over our lifetime. I think it's fine, I think.
Thank you.
So I've heard, did you make a motion?
I would move.
And so we have a motion on the table to approve the draft, subject to any final input that comes out of the hearing, the forum that we have at the end of
Or you
August.
just approve this so that we could say approved draft. And then it will be obviously amended after the
Right.
review.
Yeah.
Or the
So,
form,
yeah.
yeah.
All those in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Unanimous.
outstanding,
Yes.
outstanding.
So, I do have,
What?
August 29, this might be out of order, but it just suddenly occurred to me. We are assuming that at the end of our public forum, there would be a 2-week comment period. And that doesn't fit in with the dates that we have. So August 29, our meeting is September 6th.
Where does this 2 weeks come in?
We mentioned it at our last meeting, that at the end of the forum, typically, there would be a comment period before we would consider. And typically, it's 2 weeks.
But does it have to be 2 weeks?
No, it doesn't have to be. I mean,
Okay.
that's what I'm raising.
Okay,
So, it's a little bit of tension that I don't think needs to be there.
right.
As long as we know that we're intending to move forward, reaching the final point September 6th.
Right.
And all comment, whether it's electronic, written, or
Otherwise,
otherwise,
Yeah.
by September 6th.
I think we could just announce it at the forum.
Okay,
You want me to put on page 11, and then we're talking about a 2-week period, you want to change that to until September 6th.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe that should be in the flyer then.
Okay, so you've all seen Mary's note that's gone out to the employees. And now you have a flyer. And I'm gonna ask for everybody to help put some of these up in some of the town buildings. You've all been given at least one copy. If you need more, let me know. And I'd also like to know where you're gonna put them.
What are the rules on where we can put them?
Usually on bulletin boards, there are usually some for the public bulletin boards.
I don't know, we ought to be posting them or giving them to the division managers to put up.
Same impact, I think, if
That might
we interoffice mail.
Yeah.
Every department has bulletin boards, so.
It's not a
Ian,
bad
do you
idea,
have
give
them
it to the
with you
department.
right now?
What?
I'm going to see, all the other selectmen in an hour.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, wait a
have
minute,
more.
wait a minute.
You just don't
Okay,
mind, that's okay.
Great,
I'm just, you know, I thought that was a stack
Wait a
of them.
okay.
Can you send a copy of that?
Got it?
Huh?
Can you
No,
send a copy of that?
she just gave me 5 minutes, thanks. Thank
Could
you.
I ask Aaron to post it on social media?
Ah, that'd be great.
That's even better.
Because I know that there's lots of versions of it. Okay.
I think,
We're on the final version.
I'm not that person, but I know it exists.
Well, I can post it to your website,
Okay.
Okay.
and I can ask Stephen if she would be able to
Good.
put it out further.
No, not wait.
Under the note.
Can you send
News and
it to all the
notes,
division heads?
Facebook, Insta, whatnot, you know, all of that stuff.
Can you send it to the division heads?
I can, yeah, I can.
Seems like the easiest way to get it done.
Okay.
Please post.
It's not hard.
question?
Yes.
Okay, so I have told the select board about this, and I think several are planning to attend,
Good.
and I will be there. And what written material are you going to have? Are you going to have the report to hand out?
Not the report. no.
Not the report?
No.
Okay.
One pager.
A one-page executive
Summary,
summary,
yeah.
okay? And for the 1 week comment period, if someone, maybe Aaron could get in touch with MMN and get them to post, is it going to be televised?
Yes, well, it's gonna be zoomed.
Yeah, so if they could
So we can
post it
report it.
immediately, because if they post it the day before September 6th, I think you can, you
It's too
know,
late.
yeah, if they, to let them know, they need to post it immediately.
And it can be running on the
Exactly.
line.
That's right.
Do you have any- This is off. Can I ask a question? It's kind of
Sure.
off topic. Is there any rhyme or reason to when things get posted as far as meetings are concerned?
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's a really good question. I can't answer for them, they're sort of a separate group, but
Right.
I think it's when they get around to it.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's a, I think
Okay.
it's like when someone pushes and says there's a deadline on this, they'll get to it.
It was just interesting that I was looking to look at a point made at a personnel board meeting, and our meeting that came after it is
Right.
posted before,
Right.
that one's still not there.
Right, because if someone requests it, they hurry up and do that one. So they don't, they're short staffed.
Who you requested?
I guess Mark Hawley, right?
So he can do the crawl line on the TV, but any other form, theoretically, it goes to Aaron Stevens, the
Yeah,
PI.
theoretically, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, no, thank you. I just couldn't see the rhyme or reason as to how some things get, they're
Out
up
of
and then,
sequence.
and then.
Yeah.
Or never get posted at all.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't know.
right. I think a lot of meetings nobody watches. So if someone really requests it, they will put that one first.
With us?
We're getting a lot of views. I checked over the weekend to make sure we had everything up. So, let me ask one question, just to clarify on MMM versus Zoom. So I know we're setting up a Zoom hybrid just like we do for all of your meetings. But are you interested in having MMM come and do it for the TV, for the citizens? So
Yes.
you could request that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yes?
That'd be
In
good.
the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So that they could watch it. Exactly.
I think it's an excellent idea, but it impacts what the meeting looks like. Having served on that committee, I know it makes them absolutely crazy. If we have talking heads all around, hopping up and down around the room. They need something that they can
Focus on,
Yeah, if that's the right word.
because they only have one camera.
They will have one camera and they're not, it's not gonna be on somebody's
point.
shoulder running around the room. So, and it's not too late because we can ask for it.
Yeah.
And then we think it through how we want the meeting. to look.
That's my next question is
Yeah.
what is this meeting going to look like? Because I got the feeling it was going to be a little more interactive.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
there will
would
be-
like to see, I had sent an email to you and to Carrie saying whether you're gonna want to say anything at the meeting. And I hadn't heard from either one of you, so I don't know.
Oh, I didn't.
And
get
I
that.
couldn't start working on an agenda because I had, no idea whether it was just gonna be us, little munchkins, or there were gonna be other people who wanted to speak. So,
I wasn't planning to speak. If
Okay.
you want me to, I will, but I was gonna be there to observe.
good, okay.
And Carrie is on vacation until the middle of August, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But my guess is that you guys are gonna run this meeting,
Yeah,
but if you ask anybody else to speak, like Carrie or me or whoever, we will.
okay.
So, but
I envision it, early on, we thought it was an employee meeting. And now we're focused on one meeting for
Oh.
everybody.
Whoever shows up.
And, if it's informal, if that's the right word, then we could wander around and have posters hanging from easels and so forth. But say we get 30 or 40 people here. You can't do that kind of a meeting.
I think you have to, at a minimum, you have to have a brief presentation.
I think we need
Because
a
people are gonna be
presentation.
watching, this is a 1 o'clock, I don't know what day we do this, but
But the majority show time should be for feedback.
yes,
You gotta
but
take it- you gotta give them
they
something to get
need to have
feedback
something
from.
to respond to.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Right.
you should plan on either, brief slide presentation with the highlights of your
Mhm.
recommendations.
Our
Probably
handout,
a handout for people who come there, but not everyone's gonna be there.
so it'll be on the website as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
And I will state my personal preference for meetings. I don't like the style of meeting when you say, over to you, Chet. And then Chet hands it back, I'd rather have a person make a directed presentation. Maybe you can, if there's something that's really different, out of, a different voice, then maybe a second. But I don't think for 1 minute that I need to jump up and have my turn. I'm going to be sitting there taking my minutes and trying to catch all the feedback and being friendly and that kind of stuff. I think we need more time for presentation and questions, answers, feedback than we do for taking turns. Now, other people might feel differently. You might love to give a presentation. I'm just giving my perspective.
No, I agree. I don't think we should muck this up with 4 different opinions.
Right.
Right.
Let's have, I think it's one of you guys that's gonna get up in the chairs and lay it out. This is what we were asked to do. These are the things we found. These are areas of concern that we are suggesting X, Y, and Z. And then maybe a question comes up that you can point to one of us and say, maybe it's better if McCone answers that or
Yeah.
Bruce.
Yep.
But, I think it should be controlled.
I agree. I think you get
Moderated.
more,
Yes.
you get more content if you're not
Yeah.
jumping up and down around the room.
Now, do you think there are people who want to write questions rather than ask them in public?
Oh, I feel like I'm back at the League of Women Voters. So you put your questions on a card and hand them in, and one person, for shy, for the people who are shy and don't want to stand, one person can present the question to be answered.
Yeah, and I was just asking whether we ought to plan on having that as,
I happen to have a lot of 3x5 cards. I don't mind bringing.
yeah, I don't
Okay.
either.
It's not bad, that's a good idea. Because we don't know how many people are gonna get, 1 or 100.
I think if they know, you can either ask the question in person,
Yeah,
or if you would rather,
and they're going to be given a week for any more additional thoughts
Yeah.
that they have, yep.
And you might have questions from Zoom, people on Zoom.
Zoom.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of.
There's gonna be somebody who's gonna have to watch Zoom for the questions.
I can do that.
Would you be
Yes,
willing
yes,
to?
yes, I'm happy to
Thank
do
you,
that.
Erin.
And then we'll also want to offer just a couple of things logistically has been on my mind about the lake, like the location. So we talk about the garage, and we talk about the room. And so if it's in the room and there's a presentation, that might give them and then a better focal point.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that's something to consider. And also as far as, the presentation to get people to give feedback, perhaps a slide, I could prepare slides for you if you wanted me to, for you to present on Zoom. So in theory, right now, we could be presenting as a Zoom presentation and they would see you here, but they would also screen share.
On the
they would also
whiteboard
see-
part of it, yeah. Okay,
For your
With
consideration.
the, maybe, bullet points, these are the findings and the recommendations. Not all of them, obviously, but some highlights.
the only reason I brought up the garage is we have no idea whether it's gonna be 10 people or 150.
well, we also don't know which room it's gonna be in, right?
We don't, not yet. Karen is working on, she knows that the garage is not currently, or was not when we come, currently set up for this function.
Yeah.
But it could be rolled in and used. Or we could just use the public conference room. And have chairs out, or back, or around with edges or
How
something.
how many people does that hold?
Oh, I think she told me, and I'm not remembering.
I
Okay.
would say this room is 89, and I would say that it's similar in size. So a little-
Maybe.
That one is small.
Even smaller?
Yeah, because the back wall is all cupboards and coffee.
Well, I can find out.
I'm just thinking, I mean,
That'd be good.
there's a file limit to how many people you
Yeah.
can put in a.
Yeah, only if you ask.
Yeah. All right, I'll find out what the occupancy is.
Okay.
Great.
But also, I think that MMN and Zoom capability are set up in the meeting room
Yeah.
and not necessarily in the garage.
Well, that's the
Not in
point.
the garage.
Not
but it-
yet.
But it can be mobile into the garage, not MMM, but
Yeah, I
Zoom.
think you have a lot of technical problems in the
Yeah.
garage.
But if we try MMM in the meeting room, that's enough space.
Don't they have a camera up in the wall already?
They may. They might.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to
That'd
find
be
out.
good. Karen Farrell.
Excellent, thank you.
We're moving.
Whatever, I don't, I'm
There's
just
a
thinking.
camera in the garage?
I know, in
In the conference room, yeah.
I was just thinking of some place where I would love it if we could at least offer some cold drink.
Yes.
We're asking all the employees to come, just have something, and if you spill it, it's not a big deal.
That, I like that thought.
Water would be a good, one spill it's not a problem.
Oh, yeah, a bottle of water or something.
No, this is Concord.
What's that? in?
No, it's a
Oh,
single serve that you have to want.
Box water, right? Those, have you seen those boxes?
Put a water machine in the
Yes.
cup. Do they have one up there? Move it over where?
Right.
Yeah.
Plug it in, a bunch of cups.
If
Make sure they're not plastic.
are allowed to come on what time to do this, they're not all gonna fit in that room.
That's the thing, is that I've had a couple of employees reach out to me over the weekend and ask about what is this thing? And it's not exactly what it says it's going to be, a forum if you have any questions, some of the areas we've identified, et cetera. And one of them being a police officer said, I'll come by, but I need to keep my radio on in case I get a call. So you've got a little competition with that and fire.
Yeah.
But between the two departments, that could be a bunch of people.
Let them keep their radios on. I mean, let's not get.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, there might,
There's some tension because everybody is listening, they want to know, and then they're distracted. And that's hard. It's
I don't
You
know.
can't control it.
can't control, it's just like Sunday church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can anticipate, how many people may attend via Zoom versus in person. I don't know. how
We
we
don't.
can.
No. Well, we'll work on it.
Yes.
And
So-
once I made these tweaks that you agreed to today, can I then give it to Erin to post on the webpage?
What do you think, folks?
Well, what else were we gonna do with this, right? We want to get it to the selectmen in its final form. But in draft form,
If they're coming to a forum to discuss the draft,
They're gonna get a one pager that I'm gonna extract from the whole report. I'm not gonna do the whole report. I don't
no,
think,
but you don't think, I mean, normally if someone's reacting to a draft report, it would
I
be
think
made
if-
available. to you.
well, yeah, the only problem is it feels like it's letting everybody else know about it except the select board.
No, the select board can also read it on the.
Okay,
I think if you have a public meeting and you're discussing a document, that document is public, so. I
it's public,
think- I think-
we have it at the table.
Yeah,
All public right now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
public,
at 4
yeah.
o'clock today, it was.
Right, I really think it should be, I agree with the meeting.
But I guess I would like to do the cleanup that
Yeah.
you
I'm sorry
requested.
about them.
No, I like nitpicks. I'm a nitpicker, so I don't like, I'll make those changes. And then I could send it to Erin.
okay,
All
right.
If that's,
Yeah.
but I want your blessing, that at that point,
So,
this draft was approved.
At that point, wait a minute.
Yes.
Do we add a line to the flyer that says draft report available?
On the town website or, yeah.
Do you think? Because we want people engaged, we want them
Yeah.
to go looking for more information.
I think a lot of people will,
Yeah,
or some.
We might be surprised.
Yeah.
How many we get.
I-
Put it on the
We've
website.
argued about, we've brought up things about transparency. Let's be transparent.
yeah,
Let's-
Good point.
okay, so this,
So I need to change it.
add a
And
line,
I'll, what?
I think we add a line,
Yeah,
down here.
let me,
You
give
can
it
just put it on the
just
select
give
board tonight.
Yeah.
There's another line on there, if you're gonna hand those out,
Right,
or
and where do you think it'll get posted, Erin, on the personnel study task force page?
Yes,
Yes, for sure. And I was just going to confirm, I believe Carrie directs people in her email to your webpage. So that would
Yeah.
be, it
Yeah.
actually is helpful. So let me confirm.
draft report will be, let's make sure it says draft.
Yes, draft report. This is good, available as of this minute.
It says additional information regarding the personnel study task force may be found here, and it's a link to bring the reader. to
oh, I wouldn't put that all on the flyer. I just put one
Well, I know, I mean,
on.
but it's handy
That's what
because our
she said.
invitation is
Ah,
already
gotcha.
directed.
Right, yes, yes.
But in addition, we're not just limiting the posting to our webpage, right?
No, you've asked me to contact Erin Bolt about, I can only do your webpage, that's the only access
Yeah.
I have.
If it went on news and notes, then that goes to a lot of subscribers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that has a
that's good.
lot of subscribers, we should do that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to
On
ask.
Facebook and the PD page, every department seems to have their own page. Put it on each page.
No secret. We just voted it in.
Yep. So the secret is that there are these pages.
So as I'm looking at this, we've done the invitation, is done, that's by town manager, flyer is done. Equipment needed, we know we want refreshments. Right? And roles and responsibilities, I see that as major presentation, major presenters.
Well, do you think the town manager would want to say something?
Well, we won't know till she responds,
Right.
and she won't respond till she's home from vacation. But even if she does, I think it will only be, 25 words or less,
5 minutes, yeah.
because just time is of
You want somebody to introduce you guys? Is that what you're looking for? Do you want-
Well, I just, you were the ones that set up the
Right,
personnel stuff.
right, so I'm happy to introduce you guys if you want, or Carrie can introduce you. But Ruth's right, we're gonna talk for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You guys are the
Right.
presenting.
Yeah.
I hope. I think.
So how about this? If you need somebody to introduce you and Carrie doesn't want to or can't or whatever, I'm happy to do it. It's
You'll
easy.
be there, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'll just, thank you guys for all your work and there you go.
Have at it, yes. Excellent.
So
Thank
you're
you.
asking who's gonna make the main presentation, is what you're asking, I think.
Essentially, roles and responsibilities, who's gonna make the main presentation?
Well, the suggestion was one of us.
Yeah.
It's you or me.
There you go. And refer to specific other people if there is an area of expertise that.
On a question
Yeah.
or something.
But we're
Wait.
planning. Now, here's the next thing. Again, you see, I'm wrapped tighter than the average bear here.
Really?
When boards and committees make their presentations to town meeting, none of it is off the cuff. None of it is extemporaneous. None of it is spontaneous. It is scripted, and every member of the committee gets to have a look and buy in to the script. Okay, so that Anne stands up. We know what she's going to say. We know if she she wants to refer it to somebody for a question. We know who she's going to refer to. That kind of.
Right.
So there's not going to be any surprises, and that means it's going to be a full hour. That's no dead air, I think.
Don't you think you need a meeting between now and the 29th?
Well,
No.
I'm homing into that because we can only work one-on-one on the phone. But, if we work one-on-one and then forward the information to the next person.
I'm comfortable letting you guys do it. You two, however you come up, I don't think it has to be decided right this second. I'm the one who makes the presentation. You may decide a week from now that, you know what, I'll take items 1, 2, 3, and I'll take 4, 5, and 6. I don't know, whatever you decide to do.
But eventually we have to share it with you.
Why? We know what you're gonna say. It's the synopsis of the report.
Okay, I got it.
I don't know, yeah. I don't think we have time to have another
Well,
meeting.
Ruth doesn't want to violate the open meeting laws, is what she's saying. That's- Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm comfortable letting you.
The way you can do it is, you can draft up the one pager that Ann was talking about, and you're gonna be probably talking from that anyway. And you can send it around, or send it to Erin
Karen
to send
sends
it
it
around.
around, yeah.
And then let's say Bruce has a nitpick on item 3. He'll tell Erin. And I mean, that's how you can do it.
Working document.
But you can't reply all.
Yes, right. Yeah, we
The
know.
executive summary is only 2 pages, and why not just send out the whole executive summary?
Yeah,
That's a-
Then you don't have to write it.
no,
Great mind.
Erin had offered, and I'm happy to help her with a few slides of the executive summary, in bullet points, so that you'll have something, the TV camera will have something to focus on, rather than just looking at your face, no offense, but I think.
You get my
But if it's
point.
gonna be, rather than,
Good
so you're
idea.
not just standing there talking, they need to have something they can look at. So, I'm happy to not.
we do cartoons too.
We need a couple just to
But
chuckle.
we can have bullets, and then you can speak to the bullets,
As long as you promise not to read it to us.
Read?
You read the whiteboard.
Oh,
No, don't do that. So it could be a slide deck.
Yeah, that's right, and I think next week, Maren and I could get together and do that.
Okay.
My daughter's getting married Saturday, so after today, I'm on it.
That's awesome.
That's a good idea. Use the report, like create something else.
Well, but, yeah, it's only 2 pages. so.
Right.
Why not
You
hand it out?
actually have your slides. Slide, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
slide
that's
one
why
is
it's not-
A, slide two is B, whatever.
It's not gonna take very long.
Yeah.
And then your
I can do that.
script based on what,
I think they're trying to.
Huh?
your
I think
script
they're
can
trying
be
to
just
save
highlighted.
some burden.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So you
fine.
don't have to write it.
It's rich.
Already written.
She has put in her hours.
All right, so we, I'll talk with Ruth about what the agenda looks like in terms of if there's some introductions or whatever, and then review of the findings, and then an open discussion. And I think you guys ought to be ready for me to hand it over to you.
Fine.
It'll work.
Hand over.
My question.
Hand over questions to
Questions
you.
you can't answer, give them. to us.
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure.
It's fine.
No problem.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
I really do think it ought to be all 4 of us responding. Yeah,
It's fine.
okay.
Just one more technical question that you may have answered, and I apologize if you, but about the questions that if a shy person wants to submit on the 3x5 cards, are we allowing people to submit questions in advance, like the town manager meeting used to be, or just have the cards
That's a
there?
good question.
If you want to send them in advance, you might get a better answer. I shouldn't say that, but
What did you say?
if they send them in advance, you might get a better answer.
You might have things to ponder.
Yeah.
Um,
Can they
okay,
do
where would we have them send questions?
it, Aaron?
I'm fine, I would accept the questions if you would like that, or. they can
Maybe it's
send them
one
to
more
you
line
directly.
on the handout. On
Yeah.
the-
Handout.
Yeah.
Send any questions to.
If anybody has any questions they want,
Read or addressed at the meeting?
Yeah,
No.
goes to the task force.
Yeah, yeah.
That's brilliant.
yeah, send them to.
And or we could also have the 3x5 cards. if
Sure,
you
we
want
can do
to
that too.
have the-
Sure. Oh,
Great. Okay,
well,
good.
yeah.
Now, wait a minute, I have only one,
Only one.
refreshments, midday. cold drink.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm saying, we're asking these people to give up their lunch hour. And can we spare a cold drink? Can we make them,
The Costco run.
You can't bring bottled water in here, can you? For an event like this under the,
no?
Use those boxed water things. Like they have at town meeting.
Cookies. Don't say call it refreshments if you're only gonna give them water.
Well, is the big, is there any, is there a line item that, something can come out of?
I bet that we could get the town manager to step up for that. She did, Coffee Joe or Joe Coffee or whatever it was. April, May. She had refreshments
Yeah.
there, and this is similar.
yeah,
Well, amended
I don't want to.
So beverage.
beverage, yes.
I don't want to I don't want to overcommit, so please don't hold me to this, but I believe in an email Carrie sent back, maybe to Annie, she may have said she would help with some amount of, something, I
remember
that.
I remember. But at the time, we were talking of employee meeting,
Right.
and
you
this
are right.
has morphed into
Yes.
the forum,
That is
so
true. But
I don't know if she would
think
have the same inclination.
I will take that on my list and ask. She's back on the 18th. I'm sure she'll be busy that day, but it gives us plenty of time before the meeting.
Yeah,
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, we do have, our last task force meeting on September 6th, just to basically certify, if you will, confirm the draft report. And anything else that's come up?
Transmittal letter.
At that
That's
point, we add the transmittal letter,
And you've got that already?
you're gonna change 2 sentences.
I already did.
Okay, I guess I
Did
did.
you send it back?
Oh, maybe I didn't send it back to you. Okay. Been trying to keep up juggle.
It's all on falls in the air, yeah.
So then I could, so as of the 6th, it would be finalized.
Right.
If you make any changes at that date.
Yes, basically I dropped a couple of words.
Yeah, okay. After the forum, do you want to stay for a few minutes perhaps, just to give me some direction about any changes you want to make?
No, because we're gonna give them a week
Oh, that's right. Okay.
to get back to us.
Okay.
But we will be posted,
Yes.
will we not?
Yeah,
So we could wave goodbye to people and still be posted and ask, you know, anything that you have to do, anything that I have to say, anything.
It's not a bad idea since everybody's there.
Since we're all there, we are legit.
Yeah.
And, you know, it won't be a real meeting after the meeting, it'll be a meeting. So, I mean, if we stay 5 or 10 minutes, their limitation at CMLP is if we are using the shop to be out of it in time for the trucks to come home at the end of the day. If we're
but that's,
using,
okay, that's not till 3 o'clock, though, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
So we could stay on.
Okay.
If we're using the meeting room, they don't have that limitation. Okay.
So what do we say? I just want to,
I am thinking that at the end of the forum on August 29, we hang around for 5-10 minutes to say.
Yep.
Surprises, anything we have to get done, anything we have to look for before September 6th. You know, we might each have a job to do at the end of August 29.
so we're gonna post the meeting on the 29th. It's also a
Oh, we
meeting.
have to post
Just
it.
add to the agenda, you know,
Yeah.
following the forum, we will review the comments to see if you want to make any change. But
And
then,
that's an actual meeting.
so it's not-
Yeah,
and then you're still gonna have 10
Stays
days,
Zoom.
you're gonna have 10 days to get more comments to Aaron.
Okay,
And so then we will need a couple of days after that meeting. So assuming you get these comments on the 6th,
by the 6th.
by the 6th, do you think you'll be making the decision on that night? Any
Yes.
additional
Oh, yeah.
changes?
absolutely.
So give me till the 7th or 8th then to implement any of those changes, in which case then it's a final document that could be. When do you want to give it to the select board? On the 19th, or do you want to give it?
No,
to them on
no,
the
it's
19th?
gonna be a packet that goes to them well
This
before
one
the
is.
meeting.
So it could be the 8th or the 9th.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
15.
15 is late. No,
That's here Thursday, right?
yeah, I was thinking that it was going to be on 16, but it's on
So the 6th,
9.
6th is a Monday, correct?
But the posting has to be the Thursday before the Monday meeting.
Right, but the 6th is a Tuesday, which is after the selection.
No, Labor Day.
So. So give me to the 8th to make any change,
Okay,
Okay.
okay? And then at that point, you can decide what you want to do. It could be, you know, transmitted to the select board.
I think it'd be better the sooner you have it.
Yeah, the sooner the better, but the 15th will be the latest, yeah.
But we want to, you know, and again, before then, we'd have the appendices all compiled and then, you know, we have to get it. printed. I guess we could do this in-house.
Oh, yes, I can do that.
Vicki, how many copies will Aaron make? Obviously, most people are going to access it electronically, yes, but I'm a Luddite, so I will have it in my hand.
I would think all the members of the select board should get. Now, Copies.
Selectmen need a hard copy?
I think they should get one.
If you don't want it to sit on the shelf, people are gonna need a document.
Right.
Yeah. But, select board get the rest of their packet electronically.
Right, some of us print out some of it, other people read it all everybody's different.
Yeah.
I actually have to tell you about 10 minutes for a select board meeting, and I did have a question on the report. I'm just
Yes.
seeing on page 14. Back to that question I had at the bottom of the page, item 7 and 8.
About compensation and cost.
Yeah, about the employee turnover.
Yes.
Yeah, I made it, I think you missed. some
Oh,
of the
great.
statement I made on that.
Changes.
I made on that.
They're reasonably the same, that was scary.
Yeah, however, I think there are some flaws in my data. I think there are some flaws in
Right.
HR's data. I'm ecstatic over the fact that you could extract something that you did. And it's a great thing for the personnel board to look at in the future to get updates on
Right,
all the above.
right.
So I mean, I have no idea what the exact number is.
Well,
And I
it says
your
loss
point.
of more than 50%.
Yeah.
The data that we got from Amy, that was which is what I requested at that last meeting, is that statement isn't true. Loss of greater than 50%. It's more like 35 or 40, or I don't remember the exact number, but
Yeah, so, and I think there's some arguments that could be made, not arguments, but does it include this group of people, positions that aren't being filled? There's a lot of gray, but I get your
yeah, I
question.
just think this is sort of an overstatement based on that data. This number in number 7 and 8.
And to be honest with you, I'm questioning the validity of asking, of distinguishing retirees from not retirees.
Yeah,
Her data implies that if you left Concord's workforce but didn't start collecting your pension, that they're not being counted.
And
Yeah.
well,
We're
that
not
was the
talking just
instructions
about
I got from
pension,
Paul of how you want
Unless I'm reading this wrong.
But I just think,
well,
I'm not sure that it's really high employee turnover. If it's 5, 6, 7% a year, that's sort of a norm out there in society. So I just am questioning whether we should, whether you want to
Do
make
you
that
think there's
statement.
a better, Terry, do you think there's a better way of putting it? Because before you were here, I was talking about trends. And if there are trends that you're looking at, the information from HR, there's a huge jump from 15 to 20 to 21, where you have 25 and 25 by there. You're
Well, I
talking,
was looking at percentages, yeah.
no, look at the numbers. There's 9, there's 25. So there is, I think,
I see.
but
But it's got a lower denominator too. I guess this year is sort of a denominator.
there's this denominator, what does that include? Does that include vacancies that we're not filling? And I'm not sure we're ever gonna get a perfect number.
Yeah.
No, we'll never get a perfect
No.
number.
well,
No.
I just think that this
consider-
is too much of.
Because we simply say high employee turnover of employees in last 5 years.
And don't put a number.
It's
don't
your
give a number.
document. I guess it's a matter of opinion whether it's high employee turnover or
Well, I
not.
think,
Well, I think 50%.
Yeah, I think
Right,
we
but
have-
it isn't 50%.
Right.
So
But I do think, I do personally want to say it needs to be looked at and broken down
I
by
agree,
department.
totally. That's what we want to say.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that you don't overstate the
Would
case.
you, what do you folks think about the turnover would seem to indicate further analysis needs to be done
Yeah, that's good.
By
by
department.
departments?
Yeah,
And just look at it in that scheme of
that's
things.
wonderful. Yep.
I'm
It's fine.
I'm fine with that.
I like the language. What I'm wondering is, does it fit the table?
People can reach their own, I think the table would be included in the appendix, and I think people can reach their own conclusion.
Okay,
It's not a bad thing, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
okay. Because I believe in the statement. I don't know if people are gonna think it belongs someplace else.
So, and I get all, I mean, I think we're all trying to, what we're trying to come up with is a good statement based on real data that's
Yeah.
accurate and,
We asked for this back in November.
yeah, that's right.
We got-
I know,
I gave you
I know.
good accolades before you showed up saying,
I didn't do anything except ask Amy, and you heard me ask Amy. That was, but she came back and asked some questions, and I answered her. That was it. She did all the work,
Yeah.
but whatever,
no more comments on that.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank-
no more
thank-
comments on
Thank you,
that.
thank you for
whatever.
doing what you did.
Are we at new business here?
Yes. Anybody still on that wants to add anything? Anybody on the Zoom?
We have one person.
One person? Who is it? Please, I can't see.
Melissa.
Melissa.
Does Melissa want to say anything?
Okay. Anybody have any comments? Questions? Oh,
None? Okay.
any last statements? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you bet.
Thanks for the time, man.
Explain the